the only reason we really say that is because of Jerry. We have to tell him the mics are unmuted.
Oh, yeah.
Words
Welcome
hurt.
to the pal, Jeff Underwood, Jerry White. What's up, buddy?
Well, I'm just excited to be hanging out with two legends. One established legend, one that's on his way. I'm going to introduce you to Athletic Director Jack Justice, and he's going to make an introduction to his left.
Speak right into that microphone, AD.
Hey, I'm happy this morning. It's a great morning for us at Coosa Christian. We have a new head football coach, Alaric Williams. Been here for 4 years coaching. Has done an excellent job. I think that the future's bright. It's been a plan of mine for quite some time that I wanted. So it's kind of worked in the right direction, and I think this is the best direction for Coosa moving forward. I think our best days are ahead of us, and I just want to congratulate him. I know he's excited because I'm excited. So, it's going to be a great time.
I told him to hold out for more money. I'll be honest with you. Man, congratulations, dog.
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate you guys.
Yeah.
I appreciate what you just said, Jack, man. So thankful. I really do feel like the Lord's prepped me for this over time, and I'm ready. I'm ready to go headstrong, and I want to thank the administration. First thing I want to do is thank them. Thank Pastor Jason as well for them to give me the opportunity and think highly enough to put me in the position. I'm 27 years old, so it makes me probably one of the youngest head coaches in this state, if not the youngest head coach in this state. Yeah. So that means a lot to me, man. It really does. It means a whole lot to me.
Wow. We're going to put the call-in number 2 up here on the screen, so if you guys want to call in and talk to Coach A or AD or Jerry or myself.
Nobody wants to talk to Jerry, man. The comments are here. People are just loving you from Scott Coley to, of course, Holly is blowing it up. And she's watching from the beach, man.
Oh, yeah.
She said, "We love you, kid." God. Do all these people know you?
I'm sure they do.
Man,
so.
but they love you, they say. So you sure they know you? Heather Coley, congratulations, Coach A. Well deserved. You're such a. Here's what I'll say, Jack. The athleticism of the head coach just went through the roof.
That's true.
Well, I can promise you, he's a lot more athletic than our previous coach.
There's no question.
Or AD.
We used to make fun of Skylar Ray on the sideline before the games when we were calling Etowah ball.
Yeah.
And Coach Skylar Ray, man, he would be out there throwing just darts like your son Jackson before the games. And Jerry said, best quarterback on the field is not even a player.
But here's the thing. The backup quarterback got no reps because Skylar's throwing everything, man. So I know it's been a whirlwind, but first of all, I also want to thank Andrea Helms putting out the press releases and doing everything she does behind the scenes. Again, one of those amazing volunteers that Coosa Christian has. People don't realize until they get in the program and see all the people that love the school and work for the school on a volunteer basis, man. You're stepping into a good situation.
Oh yeah, man. With her and Jeff, they work their fanny off. They're going to be a big help to me in the program. She's going to do so much for our program. We're going to sit down and talk throughout this whole entire week in the direction we're going to go in on some things.
Mm-hmm.
But she's been there for me. That family, I love that family. Really close with them. Just grown to knowing them over the last 3 years through Jet. Me being his PE coach, man, and then him coming on and letting him come in the locker room. And
greatest moment in Coosa history.
Yeah, so we hit it off. We hit it off the end 3 years ago, and I could say so many things about that family, but I really love that family. Can't wait to see what we do together, working together. So.
And you mentioned administration already. Take a minute, and we're going to get to your questions and comments. Have you guys call in. Talk a little bit about Julie Delp and the leadership she provides the school.
Ms. Delp is a very, very strong, God-fearing woman. That's how I would describe Ms. Delp. I love that woman to death. She's always going to do the right thing, and sometimes doing the right thing makes others mad, right? Including myself, right?
Sure.
There's times where me and her butted heads in track, just on uniform deals, you know what I mean? But she was right. Women are to be modest, and that's I believe in that. The Bible tells us that, so I believe in that. But Ms. Delp, what was her last year was her first year, right?
Yeah.
Last year was her first year, man, and she come into it in a tough situation. From an athletic standpoint, especially our football program, we had a lot going on, and she fought that battle headstrong, and she put God in the front of her life throughout that whole entire deal. And just seeing how she went through that process, and how she stayed strong through that process, and how she stayed strong through everything she's going through today, and how she cares about athletics. She's really big on athletics, really big on workouts. I thank her for that, because you guys know how important that is to the program and just to all around athletics. So she's a big pro athletic principal. It's kind of rare. I'm not going to say that they all don't care about it, but I've been around and visited some schools, and some coaches have a whole lot more trouble than what I'm going to have. So I love Miss Delp from definitely from a boss, and then also just outside of her profession. I love her as a woman, and as she's a great mom. She has a beautiful family. Her son Evan, we're really close.
He was a dude too, man.
He's a pretty good athlete.
Yeah.
I'm actually trying to get him on the staff. I think
recruit.
So, So
can't say that word.
You can when it comes to coaches.
Yeah.
Say it all you want.
We're recruiting these coaches.
Yeah, man.
But I could, again, another lady I could say so much about. Just very, very thankful that she thinks highly enough to put me in this position, and I'm very thankful for our relationship, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to keep up with all these comments right now. You got these people blowing up.
Hope you aren't texting and driving.
They're complaining about the sound.
Don't text and drive. Don't text and drive.
Sorry about that. People are talking about Ms. Delp. They're talking about, you got so much support. I don't know if I've been around football and schools for a long time, and Jerry's been around it for 30 plus years. I don't know if I've seen the support from a alumni now. Didn't used to be that way, Jack, but it is now. Right. But alumni, the parents, the faculty, the kids that I've seen at Coosa Christian in the last 3 to 4 years, it's been different, man. And to see the support from outside of the school system flowing in right now and this morning from Jerry and I, listening and hearing all these people, man, they support you and this school. Talk about how important it is for a community to support and just how important that is to you and the program.
It's super important. It's up there on the priority chart to me. When the community buys into what you're doing, it creates a great atmosphere, which ultimately creates a great culture, right? That plays back into culture. And culture's huge. That's one of the top 3 for me on priorities. You know what I mean? And so over the last 3 years, so my first year there, there was probably, I don't know, Jack, what would you say, 200 people in the stands?
Yeah.
200 people in the stands on a good game, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
On a bad game, it's probably 100, 150. And seeing how much that's grown over the years, and what we have now, like our tradition now. Mm-hmm. If you come to a Friday night game, you're going to be impressed. I promise you. You're not going to think that this is a 1A, 2A, program at all, because the fans show up. They're loud. They're a little rowdy.
That's a fact.
They're a little rowdy, but it's up there, way up there on the priority chart, and I'm so thankful to have the community back me. I think that's awesome. I haven't read the comments. I know my phone is sitting here buzzing off the hook right now, and I woke up this morning and 5:30 I had already had 6 text messages, and I don't know how they even found out, but I guess word gets around pretty quick.
There's a leak out there we'll talk about later.
It's a different show. We'll take care of that for you.
But I'm so thankful for the support, and I just ask the community to buy into the process of where I want to take the program. And if y'all do that, I promise you the success is going to continue to happen.
Yeah, that's so good.
Jack, let's go to you for a second. Obviously, this is something, and we've had discussions for many years now. This is always the path.
Yeah, where we
was
wanted
to get Alaric at the head of the football program, and well done. We had some bumps along the way.
Oh yeah,
and that's what happens when you put God first. You're gonna have stuff come against you, but you were solid. You stayed committed, and this is a great day for Coosa Christian School.
Yeah, it's a great day. And you've got in anything you do, you're going to learn from adversity, because we've had adversity, we've had issues, but it's about if we don't have God first, and we don't and we don't do the things that he wants us to do as a ministry, then you're not going to be blessed. You're not going to have the success that you have. Success isn't X's and O's. Success isn't Jimmy's and Joe's. A lot of people think that, but success is putting your priorities right.
Yeah.
And if we, I know Alaric, and he's grown a lot. He's grown a lot through adversity. He's put through, trial by fire, through the last year, really, and he's grown a lot, and the maturity from that point is where we all need to be, and that's the future's bright for us. As people say, and I've said this all along. Coosa is a place where if you want to be here, we want you to be here, and we want to help you grow. Our first responsibility is that you know Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior, and that's our first responsibility with any athlete, with any student. It's academics are great, athletics has been great. It will continue to be that way, and I think this is the future is exactly where God wants it to be.
Yeah.
And I think this is a blessing.
Let's take it from the standpoint or the lens of Philip Ellen. How excited would he
he
be
would
today?
be Uncle Philip, man. That it gets me. Every time I talk about him, just I mean, in Hebrews it talks about the actual, I guess, people who are legends or whatever you want to call them, the great people of faith.
Mm-hmm.
Philip Ellen was one of those who lived that on this earth. And he's made so much of an impact sitting in this room.
Yes.
Me and you, Jeff. I wouldn't be the man I am if he hadn't invested in my life. Well, there's one thing about Alaric Williams, and this is what would make him proud. He invested, just like Uncle Philip invested in kids' lives. Alaric invests in their lives every day.
Yeah.
From the smallest kid that's in K4 all the way through the 12th grade. Every one of them knows him and loves him. They'll run through a brick wall for him. I told him this, I love Coach O. He's a brother to me, right? And he's done a lot for our program. And I'll always be thankful for that. And that friendship will never end. I mean, we'll probably end up being family, sooner than later. So, and we really already are. But the thing that I do know is that, my son, loved Coach O, loves him. I mean, he's probably going to be his father-in-law. But this man right here, he had run through a brick wall for, and when he took him as a quarterback and developed him and taught him, and it's really more than, teaching him how to be a football player, is teaching him how to be a godly young man.
That's right.
And that's what it takes. It takes people who invest in people's lives. So if you don't invest in those kids' lives and you don't love them and know them, when they know you love them, they will do anything for you.
Exactly.
And that's what Alaric has. He's a kid magnet.
Kids see the truth. We can hide behind a facade with each other and trick each other because grown people don't see that.
Right.
Kids see it. They see
100%.
through fake. And I just love. We pulled in the school one day. We're getting ready to do something upstairs and do an interview or something, and we're driving through the parking lot headed towards the field house out there. And your facility, we see you walking backwards with 30 little kids just following you like ducklings. And you're never looking back. You're walking backwards, watching those children. And it was the coolest thing. And then Jerry said something. One of the people on the show that day commented, they're his little ducklings, and he loves them. So they do love you. But I want to ask you this, Coach A. How does it feel to have somebody like Jack and Mark O'Brien, Coach O'Brien, and Jason Ellen, Pastor Ellen, and all these people fighting for you? Because if he'd have had his way, this would have happened a while ago.
Oh yeah.
And so talk about that, about how important it is to have these guys.
Oh yeah, man. I'll start with talking about Jackie right here, man. Jack, if there's one thing you need to know about Jack Justice, he has a servant's heart, and that's something I've grown to know over time with him. That man, he is willing to help anyone who is in need. One of my best friends, Logan Miracle, he calls this man Probably too much. I know there was one time we're riding in the car and Jack's like, how many times is this guy going to call him? But it's because Logan knows that he can reach out to Jackie Justice and depend on him for guidance, And so it's not just me, it's my friends. They see his servant's heart, too. And that means a lot to me. My friends mean a lot to me, And so that's the biggest thing that I would say about Jack is he has a really big heart for people, and especially about people he loves. People he loves, he's going to take care of you, and he's going to do his best to make sure that you're taken care of, And I'm forever grateful for our relationship, and I know it's just going to grow even stronger. And like you said, with his son John David, that apple don't fall too far from the tree, man. He's got a servant's heart too, and when you look at John David, you see Jack Justice, and that says a lot about Jack, because if you know John David, you know that dude's a great dude. I mean, he's going to do great things in this world. He's a great man.
Well, the only thing you didn't teach him as a quarterback was to slide.
That's true.
He went from quarterback to I'm a fullback. I'm going to run you over.
Actually, I would actually tell him to slide, but if you know John David, he's not doing that, man.
Hey, get a comment here. I don't want to interrupt you, but I think this speaks a lot. This is from Tyler Dutton.
Okay.
He says, Coach A invests in us every day. We're very thankful for that.
Man, love that kid.
That's from one of the students. Man.
Absolutely love that kid. Great kid. I appreciate that, Dutton.
That. That's an awesome kid.
Yeah,
he is. He's a great kid.
We interviewed him in the press box one night. Great kid.
Really
great kid.
He's a character now. He's got a great personality.
Josh Dodd said he's all right. ... Alaric Williams has a special calling on his life and will do great things with the program.
I appreciate that, Josh. One of my right hand men right there. Me and Josh, we go eat dinner all the time, man. That's a really, really great friend of mine. Has helped me in so many areas.
Sure.
I'm so thankful for our relationship, Josh. I appreciate that. But to go back on your message, or your question, my bad. Coach O'Brien, huge impact in my life. I mean, I could talk about it for days, right? Definitely, he coached me at Asheville. I lived with him when I was at Southside. After that, gave me my first coaching job, right? And he's been a great mentor in my life, a great figurehead in my life. I will never take that for granted. I'm glad he thought highly enough to put me in this position as well, because I know he told the administration that he wanted me to be the next man up. He thought that I should be the next man up. He was like, it's y'all's decision, but that's who I'm giving my blessing to. I'm so grateful for that, man.
The arguments between you two were epic, by the way.
Some
of my favorite things is listening to you guys go at it.
But it's all love, though. And
it is. No, it is.
And we had a meeting yesterday, with everybody on the board and I told them that me and Coach O'Brien, we can sit here and we can argue, but by the end of the conversation, there's going to be love. We're definitely going to hash things out, but we're
I got to tell you this. Well, I came up to the first practice 3 years ago when we came over to Coosa when we first started there, and walked on the field. And as soon as we turned the corner, we hear you and Coach O, going at it. And so I look at Jerry. He goes, "Don't even worry about it. It's not like this all the time." And I'm like, "We gonna be okay?" It was great.
What was great at the end? It was a big play.
Yes.
Offense scored. The lyric said, "I score touchdowns. Oh, we score touchdowns."
I'm a competitor now. I'm a big competitor. He's a big competitor now. He's got that Navy SEAL background. He's a lunatic in some ways, and then me. I was a high profile athlete, so it's in us. You know what I mean? And that's what you want.
Yeah.
I feel like that's what riles the kids up. They see that you care. You care. If the coaches care that much, then my God, we better care that much.
Right.
And so I think it's a domino effect. But y'all, when you think about Coach O'Brien, this isn't an easy deal for him. An easy process. You got to think the last 2 years what they've been for Coach O'Brien, right? Man. And the media portrays a bad look on him. Right. And so he's dealt with a lot, but he's took it to the chin. He's took it to the chin. He's had to own up to some things, his faults, because he ain't a perfect man. He's not a perfect man, but I do know this. He anytime he messes up, he goes back and he self-reflects and relies on God, right? Mm-hmm. And that's what we're supposed to do, right? We're sinners. There's sin in this world. There's great sin in this world. We're going to sin. We're all going to fall short of the glory, right? And so seeing him do that, I know that I'm going to have to do the same exact thing. I know I'm going to make bad decisions.
And it's not easy.
Right. It's not easy.
No.
I know I'm going to make bad decisions, right? I know I'm going to mess up in some areas. but I know who to go to when I do mess up in those areas, right?
That's right.
Man, try hanging out with your pastor and working with your pastor all day. That's hard. That's extremely hard.
I can only
I could flip that around.
Yeah.
Right.
I would.
The sermon illustrations. Easy, Jeff. My wife don't know. Oh, calm down.
He has to give me one of these.
Yeah,
It's like,
hey,
go ahead,
calm down. Hey, and we can't get to. We won't be able to get to. Philip O'Brien, A Train in the house.
Yeah,
Love you.
yeah.
But it's not all rainbows and unicorns, right? This is a tough position
For sure.
You have a lot of stress on you. You have a lot of responsibility. You have kids coming, kids going. You have to rebuild the program.
Yeah.
Some of that's attrition. I mean, you graduate 10 kids at a small school.
Studs.
Yeah, dudes, like, some dudes. You have to put a coaching staff together that you believe in. It's a process. Talk us through the process, and you don't necessarily have to give us a timeline, but kind of where are you thinking?
Yeah. So for one, I want to say that again, God has built me for this throughout my life. I mean, He's built me for this moment. Again, I'm the youngest. If not the youngest, one of the youngest head coaches in the state. I really do believe, at one point in my life, God put me, I was on a high in high school, I was really high, highly recruited, 4-star athlete, signed off and all those deals. And then He broke me down, you know what I mean? And then a couple of years later, He builds me back up, and I have to go through a process of things to get to where I'm at today.
Right.
So I understand that there's going to be trials and there's going to be tribulations that there's going to be adversity I'm going to have to come through, right?
Yep.
But I'm built for that,
Yeah.
and I'm going to stand strong in that because the Lord tells me I can overcome everything as long as I put Him in the forefront of my life, and I truly do believe that. I really do believe that. And so yes, we're graduating nine studs, like I just said. We're graduating some dudes now, and we're gonna have to replace those guys. And there's been a couple guys to transfer out. I'm gonna be up front with that deal. And but the first thing that I did, and when we got to talking and this started to seem like God started giving me visions, and I was like, okay, because I'm gonna tell you guys I wasn't for sure that I was gonna be the head coach at Coosa. I had some other options, and
Sure.
I was searching through those deals and kind of just hearing them out. But at the end of the day, I relied on God to make my decision for me, But so I'm going headstrong with that decision, and I think we're going to be. I think we're going to be fine replacing those seniors because I sat there and I teach 11th grade Bible. There's 4 dudes in that 11th grade Bible class who don't play football, right? Who don't play football, and one of them, and the other 3 are dudes too. But there's one that people don't know about, and I'm telling you, you're going to know about this kid because he's going to be out there on that field, and he's a great athlete. I'm not going to say his name, but he's a great athlete. So the roster deal, and let me say this, since we're on live, I'm just going to go ahead and say it's the elephant in the room, right? The elephant in the room is Coosa's done. Coosa's done. They're not going to field a football team. The school is burning down, and all these crazy things. It's crazy. I'm going to say it right now. It's false. It's lies. It's lies. It's lies from the pit. Don't believe it. Don't believe it because I'm telling you, there's a good thing going on. There's great athletes in those hallways. There's great athletes coming back. There's great parents who believe in those athletes coming back and what we're doing. And so we're going to be fine. We're going to be fine. And just know business is going to be booming. Business is definitely going to be booming. I can assure you that. Yeah. And then from a coach's outlook, I've got 2 DCs in mind. I will say this on live. Teddy Whitmire, great DC, my brother, right?
Sure.
God had a different path for him, so he's doing good. He's got his own business still going on, and he's got to put his time towards that. But I got two great DCs in mind, and going through the talks with them, and just trying to kind of figure that out. But I'm going to make sure he's a high character guy, right? That he's going to buy into what we're doing, and that he loves Jesus Christ. There you go. And that third one being the biggest one. Right?
I think the most important hire you can make is who's going to be the hydration specialist.
That's a big.
We had Bo Black. We had Scott Coley. I think the hydration guy is a high profile coach. So I'm saying, be sure to put the time into it.
Scotty, I like Scotty.
Got you, Scott.
Yeah.
I got you,
dog.
you.
We're looking for areas for well, I can't. I'm not going to say that. I was going to say.
I'll say it.
we're looking for areas for Coach O to be able to fit in to do things. He might be a hydration specialist.
I think it's over his head. I think it's over his head. That brother can't do that. He'll bring the bottles. He'll forget the water. You think a seal will be all about the water, but he ain't. Hey, and Coach O's not abandoning the program.
No.
That was a silly statement. I told probably all of you guys. I got a call the other day from someone from AL.com asking me if the story was true that Coosa's not going to field a team. And we all know where that comes from, because the verbiage is the same. It comes from the same person that I won't get into right now. You guys can call in. You guys want to call in? Jeff can put the number up.
You can call. It's on this above the screen. 256-613.
Call in. We'll ask the questions. Be nice.
13.
I'll touch on that if you want me to.
Yeah.
Let me word this right. I don't want to be Coach O'Brien. I want to learn from his mistakes on how he says things. I mean, he just says in black and white, and I love it. I love it, but I know you can't be that way in some areas, But I would say this: if you are influencing kids to do things that are not godly, woe to you.
Yep.
Woe to you. And that's where I stand on that. I'm not going to say any names.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say someone's doing what, but there are definitely people who are trying to tear down our program,
right?
Because things didn't go in the direction that they wanted it to go. But it's not your direction; it's the Lord's direction.
That's right.
Don't get that confused.
Love it.
And all I got to say is, woe to you.
Yeah.
Woe to you.
This program's been around since the school's been around since 1974. The concept 73, right? Your first 72. So
74 was the first, I think.
Senior class?
Yeah, I'd have to go back and look.
Remember. It was. I think my stuff says 73 in it. On my crap.
It might be. I think you're right.
I said crap. That was great diploma. Thank you, Mr. Cranford, all you guys. Appreciate you guys for getting me out of that school. Mr. Davis, thank you, buddy. But it's been around a long time. This school is built on the foundation of the Lord. I mean, Jack's dad and his uncle, they built this school with the White's Chapel for the vision of pointing people to Jesus. And one person, this program, the school is bigger than one person.
Absolutely.
And when you got the anointing of the Holy Spirit over an organization, a school, a church, that's not going away. And the evil can come against it all it wants to.
Yep.
But the righteous, their steps are ordered by a holy God.
Yes, sir.
And as long as we walk in that path, we are overcomers, right? And you are correct. It is better for one to have a millstone tied around their neck and cast into the depths of the sea than to harm one of these little ones. So
Amen.
You're 100% right, and I'm proud of you for saying that. I think that's my 2 cents.
Great comment here. Somebody said, Jeff, your ankles are pretty today.
Who said that?
That would be Andrew from ZLA.
and look, I'm trying to get my tight jeans because I knew Alaric was in here and Jerry's wearing tight breeches. And
when you're my weight, everything's tight.
These ankles need to be seeing you on the golf course.
Oh my God! Somebody said, "Hey, they're loving your energy, Alaric." Hey, let's say, yes, we've had some high-profile kids decide to go to other schools.
Yeah.
That don't mean they're not coming back.
That's right.
God is going to take control, and sometimes God's going to send you better and more. And a high-profile kid doesn't mean a better team.
Sure.
There's a lot of teams out there with high-star kids and great kids that don't win football games.
Look,
so no one's bigger than Coosa Christian.
Guys, business is booming. Okay,
I love it.
Business is booming. Okay, I promise you. Those, great kids, the high-profile kid that you're talking about, and the others that you're talking about, great kids, right? But I'm worried about the kids that are in those hallways right now. That's my main focus right now.
I don't mean to cut you off, but I got a question, Jack. Can we get any more eligibility out of like Radley Mays, David Franklin? Can we go back and look?
I'd love to have Cooper Coley.
Can we get Cooper? Yeah, we
had a touchdown, man.
Yeah.
You guys don't know, but that kid, that's the type kid that I want to coach. I want to coach a Cooper Coley, a kid that moves in knowing that we have straight studs, right? He knows he's probably 3rd or 4th on the depth chart, but he shows up every day, great attitude, works his fanny off, right? Loves the Lord, obeys his parents, right? And he works really, 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 really hard. I mean, that's all you can ask for. That's all you can ask for out of a kid.
But he's delusional because he thinks he could beat up his dad when his dad was the same kid.
I don't know though. Coop's getting strong, guys.
He may be getting strong.
Hey,
Scott was Bradley Park strong.
That's built different.
That was different, man. That was different.
He was running with Ambriel and Vic and all those guys. Man. He's tough.
Does someone say football golf tournament? Question mark.
Ooh, that's up my alley right now. Okay, I'm finally breaking 90. So I'm finally breaking 90.
You and Bob.
That's good. Okay.
You'll be Alaric breaks 80. Yeah. Well, that's a show right there.
I don't know about breaking 80. I ain't even close.
Hey, let's talk about this. Talk about where we go from here. Are we going to have a spring? Is it just you're going to start doing full stuff in the summer? What's the Alaric Williams plan for Coosa Christian football?
Okay, guys. So I committed to this job for sure yesterday. I have a list of things that I have to go through.
Sure.
Okay, so like my next few days are going to be very busy days.
It's okay to not know.
Yeah. So that's where I'm headed with this. Even from a jamboree look, I have to plan out before I even get to that. I have to get to the summer schedule, and so I know we haven't done a spring game in the past. So I just have to look at where we're at with our baseball program, and then track. I'm still the head track coach. Yeah. Still got track season going on.
And we're having a very good season, by the
way. Yeah, we are, and
that's despite having Matthew Crane on your staff. You're still doing well.
That's my guy. That's really
this is his home church.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. That's my guy
love
right
Matthew,
there. I love some Crane now. Yeah. Really depend on him. But so I mean, I have a list of things I have to go through, and I have to prioritize some things right now. How can you put out a spring game when you don't have a DC? I gotta go find this. That's one of my main priorities right now, and I want it to be the right guy. Right.
Take my phone. He's in here. He's in here.
I bet we'll talk after this.
Yeah.
But so I want to go in the right order of getting things done, and so that's definitely on the priority list. But there's other things that I have to worry about before I get there. Sure. But as soon as I figure those things out, you guys will know.
Yeah,
right? Y'all
for sure.
Put it out. And
there's Andrea sent a comment. Want you to say something to Coach A.
Jerry, go ahead and let him know we are having a concert. Man, people are blowing it up.
That's a lot.
Coach Ruffin.
Oh, okay. Reggie.
MJ.
Yeah.
Andrew Ford. He says, I know a guy that can help with that. He's a compressor of the golf ball. Seriously.
Y'all had him on the show, didn't you?
Yeah. Okay. He's an OG guy.
It was a really good show.
You're going to have to go back. I mean, there's so many comments. I can't possibly tell them all. And not one of them is for Jack, which is really good.
That's not
good.
True. That's not true.
That's good.
Jack's a legend. I've been reading that a lot.
Everybody think does a legend secretly mean he's old?
Yes.
That's true.
I wasn't sure.
Very.
Before you youngsters got in here, we were talking about how old we were and all the problems we had. So,
Jack, let's take it back to you for a second. Alaric, obviously, by all accounts, an amazing choice, but it's a lot of hard days ahead.
Oh, yeah.
And I love the fact that Alaric chooses hard every day. We've had that conversation. Talk about that and the mindset of choose hard.
I can tell you, if this was easy, anybody can do it, right? And he has a foundation that's built. I can tell you that, Coach O, you can say a lot of things about him, but he built a foundation of culture and the way that it's supposed to be.
Right.
And, a lot of people don't see that, but Alaric is going to be successful because Alaric puts, in every decision he makes, the first decision, we didn't talk about football. We didn't talk about defensive coordinator. The very first decision he wants to talk about is how we're going to handle chapel, what we're going to do with teaching these kids every day, and who's going to be doing it, how we're going to do that, and that's his first priority. His first priority is, and that's why the success will come. Okay, and people get things upside down. Coosa's never been about winning state championships. Okay, that's not that. Is that a byproduct of what we do? Yes, but if you do it the right way and you build it from the ground up, and we've got some. You're always going to have rebuilding. Okay,
sure.
But you build it from the ground up and do it the right way. That's a byproduct of what you're going to have. I can tell you. when Alaric came, I think John David, what grade was he in?
It was
8th or 9th? Was he a 10th grader when you came?
10th grade. Yeah.
Okay, but he had been, he had a quarterback coach, Mark O'Brien, before we got a real quarterback coach. No, I'm just kidding. But Coach brought Alaric on, and that group that they started in the 7th grade. That group that there was 9 seniors that graduated then too.
I think so.
But that group that started, and then the group that came behind them, that was a class behind them that just won a state championship. That those kids been playing since the 8th grade.
Mm.
They played varsity football in the 8th, 9th, 10th grade, and we had good teams in.
Sure.
So that's just the way it is in a small school. And Laric's not scared of the battle. I mean, he's built for that. He said that to begin with, and that's a true statement. God's prepared him for this, and he's going to be fine. Is he going to make mistakes along the way? Sure, he is. Are we going to have state championship every year? No. But that's the byproduct. I'm not saying that we don't shoot for that, because we do, but the basis of what he's going to do is he's going to win kids to Christ, because this is an evangelical school.
Yeah.
We want lost kids in our school. Right. We want to teach them the right way. We want to teach them how to be godly men and grow up and be godly husbands. And when things come against them, when their life, because I mean, you can't make somebody love you if your wife leaves you, or if you have problems in your marriage. How do you handle those things? Mm-hmm. Do you handle them from a spiritual aspect? Yeah. And because that's what we want to teach our kids, how to live a godly life. And that's been the purpose of our school from the time you came there, from the time I started there. And that's not going to change. Yep. And if we do it the right way, we've had ups and downs. We've had great football teams back when you and I played. Yeah. And then we went, we had some rough years. When Coach O came and started this the right way, that's going to continue, and we're just going to build on that and get better, because that's what Alaric's built for. It don't matter. I'm not worried about the hard times. I mean, they ain't nobody facing any harder times than Alaric has in his life. You know, you don't. You're not a. He says a 4-star. You're not a 5-star athlete, because that's basically what he was. And every school in the country wants you. And you go through those things, and it don't pan out the way you think it does, and you come out on the top side. Yeah. A lot of kids fall, and they fall into a lot of things because they don't have what's grounded. They don't have Christ first in their life. They do not understand those facts. And that's why he's going to build in this whole program with every kid that comes through the door. Yep. And that's what it's exciting about the future for me. Is there's a foundation built there. He's just going to take it to the next level, and there's no doubt.
You have Jackson now, the baseball program. Yeah. Have Alaric. These are 2 young kids who just get it. I say kids, man. Everyone's a kid to us. We're old, but these dudes are in it for the right reasons. It's certainly not money.
No,
it's not why they do this. They're young. They're energetic. They're the face of the program. Then there's Rocky Pete.
Wow.
That's a different show. We'll talk about that later.
Rocky, don't let him talk about that.
So he's old like us.
He's old like us.
Don't say it. Don't tell him that.
Yeah, he still thinks he's just young. Because he puts these base systems in the cars. He's young, right? That's what he's doing. But I think that it's a great trajectory, and I'm excited to see. Sit back and just watch this thing take off, and way more than championships. Although you're competitive as they come.
I'm telling you guys, we're going to win ball games. Yeah. Just know that we're going to win. I can promise you this: the standard and the relentless attitude that we've had over the last 4 years is going to continue. I promise. I can assure you that.
Leave no doubt.
I can assure you that.
Leave no.
It's going to be fun to watch.
Yeah,
I'm excited.
Yeah, I cannot wait. Folks, he's going to go back and read all your messages when he gets a chance.
Hey, Team Chiropractor's on.
Oh,
Dr. Keener.
What's up?
You about to get tagged in, coach.
Hey, we had a great talk last night. He's gonna do great things for our program. He's gonna help us out in so many ways.
He's
man.
a dude.
He's
man.
a great man.
He's an untapped. First of all, he's a godly man. Him
Yeah.
and his wife are godly
Yeah.
people.
His wife's
But-
really sweet.
But his knowledge as far as the body and he's on. I got to get up there and get adjusted, bro.
Oh yeah.
He said I'm gonna need multiple visits.
Yeah, he's working out a great deal with us. We talked about a great plan for the future.
Yep.
Over the next few months, and so that's what we got to have. We got to have parents like Dr. King who are going to buy into what we're doing, and so that talk we had last night, man, it gave me a lot of hope in some areas from a nutritional standpoint, right? Because nutrition is such a big thing. It's the most important thing from a weight room perspective. I think nutrition and rest is the most important things. Obviously, to lift because you want to get stronger, but you can't get stronger if you're not putting the right things in your body, right? And so we had great discussion about that last night, and I think we got a great plan.
If his son just knew how to play football,
Oh, he does.
he's a dude.
Graham's
man.
gonna be a heck of a ball
He's
player.
a dude.
If he can take that mentality from wrestling and just a little bit of it, because
I think it's confidence. I think he's 100% confident
Oh, yeah.
on the mat.
Yeah.
When he gets that confidence on the football field, some of y'all in trouble.
good luck. And that's the kids that I'm talking about that we still have in these hallways that's burning down, like, quote unquote, crazy. Yeah, that kid's 6'2", 170. He's gonna get up. I'm making him get up. I mean, me and his dad talked about it yesterday. We got to put some weight on you, But I mean, when he's tall, the weight. Where's all the food go? You know what I mean? So he's got to eat double of what most kids.
I heard what his dad talked about as far as the food bill. That brother's eating.
Oh yeah. But he's got to eat double than most. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he has a fast metabolism. So
I'm excited for
that
things
kid's
to
gonna
come,
do some
man.
great things, man.